just double check. All right, we're live. Welcome. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be going over some video testimonials from actual real human beings who have gone through our vagus nerve stimulation and repair program and have had benefits, substantial benefits from utilizing the combination of ultrasound and vagus nerve stimulation. So we're going to be doing, showing on screen some real actual interviews with clients who've gone through our program. But before we do that, I know you're excited to see what other people can experience from, going through a vagus nerve specific type of program. We're going to do what we always like to do at the very beginning of this video, which is called the simultaneous squeeze. And the simultaneous squeeze is a breathing practice we do to inhale a lot of air, squeeze our diaphragm to constrict around our vagus nerve, to hug our vagus nerve from the inside out with our diaphragm so that it releases acetylcholine into our brain and into our body and calms down inflammation, calms down our body, calms down our consciousness. It's very cool. So it's super simple. You're just going to take a deep breath in. You're going to take a little sip of air at the top. So you're going to breathe in as much as you can and then take even more air, even more than you thought you could. And then you're going to hold that air in no matter what. And then you're going to start squeezing your stomach, your chest, and your diaphragm, your core, like this. And your face will kind of fill up with a lot of blood. You'll see me on camera. And then we're going to hold that for just about 5 seconds. And then you're going to slowly exhale with a shh. You're going to make a shh sound out of your mouth, not out of your nose. Okay? So ready? Here we go. Breathing in. And then the sip. Hold it. Squeeze. And exhale slowly. Very good. Okay, nice. That always feels really good. I love doing that at the very beginning of this video, and it makes more sense for you guys to get here right on time, right? If you're on Facebook, you always get about 5 minutes grace time before I go officially live, and we do that practice. Honestly, it's one of the best things you can do for your overall health and wellness and mental health and physical well-being. So, all right. So let's crack into this. Today, we're going to be showing off some actual video interviews that I have here on my computer, and I'll be doing a little bit of a screen share. So bear with me if there's any technical difficulties. This is just me literally streaming live from my computer, but it should work. Also, I'll just ask you guys to confirm if the sound is coming through from my computer. So this is a screenshot. Well, here, we'll go with this one. All right, so how do I do this? Let's see. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this clip from Brad and let me know in the chat if the audio is okay. Can you hear Brad? Okay, here we go.
One of the best decisions I've made. I committed 8 weeks to Sterling's program where he introduced me to some cutting-edge technology along with his guidance and coaching from...
Okay, so let me check. So there's a no on hearing the audio. Okay, so that's helpful. Thank you so much. Audio input capture. Zoom. Audio input. You're saying audio's too quiet, but you can. Okay, can you hear him though? I know. Okay, I think. Sorry, guys. I think I know what's happening. It's. Thank you. We need to do speaker audio. Road NT. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay. I got that. Sorry. We'll figure this out now. I think we got it now. Thanks, guys. Here we go.
Sterling has introduced me to his training, his coaching,
Yeah.
his technology. I've noticed what began was a slight shift in my habits has since transitioned into a significant change in my habits and my ability to call on those states whenever I have to really get down to business. So this is just a quick testimonial to say, Sterling, thank you. I really appreciate what you've done for me, and anyone else who's considering hiring Sterling, it is absolutely worth the investment because you're going to get a multiplier back of that return on your investment. Cheers.
Awesome. Very cool. Okay, cool. So I think the audio is working now. Okay, thank goodness. Okay, cool. So we're back. Thanks, guys, for bearing with me. It's one of these. This is the thing. I hate trying to do complex things on a computer because you're always going to have breakdowns of how it works. But guys, I appreciate your patience with me here. Let's see. Also, Naomi, thanks for tagging, but that's the wrong Brad. I'm just going to delete that message just so the wrong Brad doesn't think like, why am I being tagged in the chat? But you did get his name right, Brad. That was Brad. He's a client of ours. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, good. Okay, cool. So that was Brad. He was a client of mine from a long time ago, back in, gosh, man, this must have been 2018 that he signed up. Now what we're gonna watch is Sherry. Sherry is a client of mine who has MS. Well, technically would still be considered having had MS, but not nearly as bad as it was before she started. So let's check that out. And here is her interview.
I feel a difference with the ultrasounding my left temple, no, my right temple.
Okay.
I've noticed quite a difference in that.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Well, the sensation in the left leg has all returned. Like it's no different. I can right to left is no different now.
Okay.
And I was struggling with some foot drop. Like my left foot just didn't seem to. It wasn't coming back as quickly as the rest of it. I'm now able to lay, like, it's called gravity alleviated or whatever. I can lay on my side and move my foot. Like I can't move it against gravity yet. I'm not strong enough to do that, but I can. If I lay on my side, I can like move it now. So
Wow. Okay.
and that's just since I've been doing the ultrasound.
Oh.
On my temple.
Hallelujah. There we go.
Hallelujah. All right, cool. So that's Sherry. Sherry went through our program back in, 2020, I believe. And so, yeah, you can see that. So guys, here's the facts about multiple sclerosis is typically you don't see people getting any better. They typically just have to focus on not getting any worse. Through the VNS program, the same one that many of you are going through right now, we really just rolled it out as vagus nerve stimulation and repair. The program that I run is really focused on stimulating the vagus nerve and repairing the vagus nerve, which means repairing the myelin sheath, which is what goes, when you have MS, your myelin sheath basically started to deteriorate. So it made perfect sense that since a big component internally of our repair process of the VNS program is repairing the myelin sheath. So just so you guys know, like that's why I have specific recommendations around amino acids and choline as well in the program, because those are two crucial elements of repairing and regrowing myelin. And it's not just limited to your vagus nerve too. So in Sherry's case, she had MS throughout her whole body, mainly affecting her ability to walk and even move her left and right leg equally. So that the equality of movement of both of her legs returned after just about, I'd say, 2 months of being in the program. And she actually loved it so much, she actually re-extended for another course in her care. So she was great to work with. I really love and appreciate Sherry. She's doing great today. Can't say that she's out running marathons or anything like that. That's not what we are focused on. But she is doing exceptionally well. Also, her mental stress from developing MS was almost eliminated completely. She got rid of all the stress of dealing with, you know, basically the shame, the guilt, the stress, the anxiety, and the depression that comes with developing a neurodegenerative disorder. And so by stimulating her vagus nerve, that went away almost entirely. So, which is really cool. Okay, cool. So we got another one. This is Shannon, and she went through our program also back in, I believe, 2020. So this is a couple clips from her.
Right. When I would do my own research, and it took me a long time to figure this out. You know, if you got sick the day your period started, maybe someone else could put two and two together faster than I.
And just so we're clear, so not Sherry, but Shannon's main problem that she had prior to joining the phase 1 program was that every time that her monthly period would come, she would get debilitatingly ill. She would start getting really sick, getting really nauseous. She had to resort to like domperidone, going to the ER, getting different kinds of anti-nausea medications in IV injected into her so that she wouldn't like just get so sick. And actually, after going through our program, that literally never happened once again. So there was absolutely a connection between her nausea happening during her cycle, her monthly cycle, that was manifesting in terms of something wrong with her vagus nerve. So the program 100% helped her get over that big time, which is another reason why doing this work has given me some unique insights into what things does the vagus nerve control. Because Shannon here, the only thing she did was stimulating her vagus nerve with ultrasound. I mean, that is I worked with her back in 2019, and that was categorically what we primarily focused on in 2019, was just really stimulating your vagus nerve according to our specific protocol. You have to follow a very specific set of instructions when you're doing this stuff. Don't just be like, whatever, what's 10 minutes, what's 30 minutes of stimulation. These things are completely different. Too much stimulation and you can turn off your vagus nerve, and a little bit of stimulation can actually increase vagus nerve activity. So you have to know kind of what you're doing with this. So.
Good. But because it was 2 days prior, you know, am I eating too much sugar? What did I do yesterday? Was it the glass of wine? I mean, and I'm horrible about tracking. So it took me an embarrassingly long time to figure out what was causing this problem. Once I figured out exactly, and also my period was changing. It was going to, 3 weeks apart instead of 4 weeks apart. So I really wasn't tying it together because it wasn't, exactly 28 days apart or whatever was happening. So I did my research and looked, and 2 days before your period starts is when your estrogen and your progesterone spike. So then it occurred to me that what's the fastest way for your body to eliminate something like that is getting sick. So 2 days before, I was getting this huge spike in hormones, and then my body would need to get rid of it, and that's the quickest way to do it. So then it all started clicking, and when we started talking about it and putting it on paper.
Yeah, so that's an interesting point she makes. Vagus nerve has a lot to do with detoxification as well. So in her research, she found that the estrogen and progesterone buildup was probably too much in that time, and that's why she was getting so sick. I think she's a fascinating case, but here's her again.
I had my vomiting like mid-cycle. It was completely unexpected. It was not the right time to have it. But when I told you that, you said movement is movement. It's when you're stagnant that it's the problem. So if things are changing, we're changing something, and something is, getting better. Yeah. And then also over the course, not to jump ahead, but my period started going back to 4 weeks. So those are two changes that happened over the cycle.
And yeah, she's referring to the cycle of being in the program specifically, which I thought was really actually quite interesting. So are you guys, let me know in the chat, are you guys finding this interesting? I hope that it's kind of cool, right? It's like, because a lot of people watching, they're already doing VNS with ultrasound. There are a lot of people watching are in my program already. So you get, your personal experience. But I find it interesting to recap or review some of the older experiences that we've had throughout the many years of running this program. I always find it kind of interesting. And then here's, I think, the last clip, maybe the last clip for Shannon here.
The other thing I wanted to add too is like you asked me to not do the breathing and just test the ultrasound. So I have still never done the breathing. But now it's been 3 months since we, finished our calls, and I haven't gotten sick 2 days before my periods in 3 months. So I mean, this is very, very exciting. And it's ultrasound only. I'm not doing the breathing. And it's always my intent to do it, but this is working, so
That's fantastic. Well, hey, if you get results, then that's what counts, right?
mhm. That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, I found that to be, I found Shannon's case to be very interesting. Like you heard it from her yourself. Prior to the program, she would, about 2 days prior to her period coming, would get substantially ill, and she would actually have to go to the hospital for it. After 1 month, her period cycle came a week early than normal. Then it came halfway through the period cycle, and that's what she was referring to, is that when it started to change is good. Stagnation is not good. So while the first month her period still came and she still got nauseous, but it didn't happen in that 28-day cycle, that 4-week cycle. It happened on day 21. So it happened a lot earlier. And the nausea wasn't even as bad, but it was still there. Guys, like your body is a huge component full of cycles after cycles. There are day-long cycles, 24-hour cycles. There's 12-hour cycles, but there's also a week cycle and a 4-week monthly cycle. So anytime you induce a change in the cycle, that is actually a good thing. It really is a good thing. And given her response, I mean, guys, she had done everything that you could possibly do prior to joining the program. There was not one thing that Shannon couldn't have purchased or bought or done or tried prior to joining our program, because our program does offer some very unique tools that you just can't get anywhere else. You can't get that kind of coaching. But you heard it herself. She has not gotten sick at all ever since starting the program. So after 3 months of doing VNS with ultrasound, and you heard it herself too, she didn't do any of the other stuff that we have in the program. And not like it's a bad thing. It's just, some people just want to do the ultrasound, and that's okay. I technically think now, in hindsight, knowing more about this, since this was in 2020, so it's 3 years later, I do believe that she probably could have gotten potentially faster results had she done a little bit more from the program. But honestly, that's fine. And I think for her, it was just for her, she wanted to just try the ultrasound by itself. But we saw some substantial results with it, and so I'm really stoked about what she was able to get. So now let's review Carla. Carla is a client of mine from 2018, and so she had some really good results with the program.
I become more at peace. I'm less triggered by stupid stuff online, and I really like how it helped me build a space in my head that is just mine, and a space that was the impetus of me growing further and walking away from depression, and walking away from the life I used to had, which was a very difficult life that I'm just quiet about and hiding behind the profession of my social media posts or my life. So
yeah, so Carla is very interesting. Her particular story was that prior to joining the program, her mother had passed away suddenly. And I'm talking like her and her mother had checked in for a routine checkup at the hospital, and they said, yeah, you have cancer and you have about 3 to 6 months to live. And they thought, well, of course, that's earth-shattering news, but they still had some semblance of hope, because she said, well, you know what, Mom, we're going to do anything and everything that you've ever wanted to do in your life. We're going to go off your bucket list, and we're going to make sure that you have the best next 6 months possible. And that was their plan. But 3 days later, the mom actually did succumb to the cancer and died. So this was horrifying for Carla, and it set her into a deep depressive spiral. And it was about that same window of time, about 3 to 4 months later, that this happened. She saw one of my posts on social media encouraging people who were interested in trying vagus nerve stimulation with ultrasound to reach out to me personally, to me, Sterling Cooley, as an expert in ultrasound neuromodulation. And so she did raise her hand. She raised her hand in the chat, in the comments, and I reached out to her, scheduled a call with her, and it became pretty obvious that she would be a good candidate for the therapy for vagus nerve stimulation. So we started her off. She was actually in the Philippines when she was doing this. So we shipped a device all the way over to her over in the Philippines. She started using it, and rapidly she started seeing improvements. Again, she talks about, which I think she does a great job of saying this, is that the stimulation created a space in her mind that was just hers, not a place where there was intrusive thoughts or rumination that was constantly kind of coming in. Like, just imagine the sense of guilt and shame and pain that would be experienced when you lose your mother so suddenly. So for her, it was really difficult. And then I'm going to play one last little clip from her, just to kind of round out her testimonial. Here we go.
You should talk to Sterling and try to sneak yourself into his wait list, because I'm pretty sure he has one right now. Yeah, I recommend it for everyone. And if you have any questions, I'll be open to answer it. So yeah, I wish you the best, and the best is to decide to always move towards the better version of you. So thank you for giving me your time.
There you go. Couldn't have said it better myself. So yeah, really fantastic results for Carla, for sure. No doubt about that. So what we're going to do next is look at a couple more, 1 second, testimonials. I'm going to just scrub through here and see if there's a good, nice clip. So this next clip is going to be from Diane O'Connor, who's a client of ours from, I believe, 2020 as well. And so we're going to play her clip here. And this interview was actually performed by an assistant of mine, Gabriel. So that's why you're going to see Gabriel's face here on the screen and not mine. But that's who did the testimonial interview at the time. So 1 second, let me go and fit to screen. There we go. Here we go. Boom. Okay. So this is Gabriel, but we're going to listen to Diane O'Connor.
To share this particularly, even though you are very, very sensitive, Diane.
Oh, also, just so you know, the question to her was, Diane, if you were able to speak to yourself prior to joining the vagus nerve stimulation and repair program with Sterling Cooley, what would you say to yourself at that time? So that's what the question is, and this is her response, which I think is so true for so many women who go through the program. Is a lot of the times they answer very similarly to this. I'm sure some of you in the chat as well, TK, Shar, Lori, as well, would be like, that's exactly what I would tell myself before considering joining a program like this. So let's hear it from Diane.
And you've tried everything, and so many things haven't worked.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that you do with Sterling and with his group that, you can do together. This isn't something that they're going to just give you and say, try this and, it's working for everybody else. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It's not like that. It's personally constructed for you and with you. And that's what I found to be the best thing about it, was that I had like the ability to tell him what was going on. I didn't have to feel ashamed that I can't do what other people are doing. I can only do this many, and this much. And he was like, okay, good. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to say to everybody who is really, really sensitive. Yeah. Because we think we're freaks, when we can't do things like other people can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, really cool. Very powerful. Definitely very, very powerful testimonial from Diane. And so, you know, Diane, prior to coming in the program, I'd say that the vast majority of the health challenges that she had had developed over many, many years. She had, like she said, she had tried so many things. In her mind, she had literally tried everything that you could possibly try for getting healthy. And so, you know, of course, everybody should be hesitant to join a program. Guys, I encourage you, if somebody's on the internet saying like, hey, give me money for fixing your health, you should be skeptical. You should ask lots of questions. You should hold them to account, and be like, can you really help me with the challenges that I actually have? And so, fortunately for Diane, is that she saw the benefit of joining a program where she gets to work with Sterling Cooley, which is me, where I help you personally with your own health challenges. Because I think that's what medicine and care should be, is that you work with someone on solutions that are, in a way, they have to be kind of personalized. It can't just be a one-size-fits-all type of thing. So anyway, I thought she was just, she was just an absolute joy to work with, Diane, for sure. Let me just go to chat here real quick. What do you guys think so far? Out of all of these testimonials that you've seen, which one resonates with you the most? We've watched Brad, the male at the beginning. We've watched an interview with Shannon. We've watched an interview with Diane. And we've also watched an interview with Carla. So Brad, Shannon with the period issues, Carla who lost her mother, and then Diane here who had some, just, I would say, a complex health situation. But she was really, really positive to share. What would you tell yourself before joining a program to convince yourself that it was a good idea? So I thought that was really helpful for her to share it that way. Let me do this as well. And we do have some more just absolutely phenomenal testimonials. I want to see. Here's one from well, let's see. Which one do I want to share? I have so many, honestly.
Over time, I would say 15 weeks later, yes. That's the interesting part for me. It's like sometimes, like I would walk out of a play, let's say a chiropractor.
Yeah. I'm going to play one from Fern Steiner.
I've had long-term chronic illness.
Yeah, here we go.
But it was really amazing.
Here we go. All right. Oops. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Well, honestly, yeah, they're all awesome. They're all awesome testimonials. So I think, honestly, I think what I want to do is just to kind of make up for the lagginess at the very beginning of the video, because I think we lost a lot of people there, is I'm going to put this into just a short cut video and then upload into that into the group, and then put that on the testimonials page so that you can see, because, it's beneficial for people to be able to watch full testimonial interviews, but I also think it'd be cool to create like a series of the short snippets of, this is what I think of the program, this, like, kind of like upping our marketing a little bit. So anyway, I'm going to stop doing testimonials for right now for this video. Sounds like Charlene, you like Diane, all awesome testimonials. Yeah, Diane's really great. She's very sweet. She had to overcome a lot of really hard stuff in that time that we worked together. But it was something, like the challenges she was experiencing then when the program started were, a lot of them were social. She was having some challenges around other people in her life. And so the program helped her maintain and build a sense of strength and purpose and resilience, and able to set boundaries for how she allowed people to utilize or not utilize her time, which I think was just absolutely fantastic. So yeah, so very cool. Well, anyway, that's about it for today. I'm going to end this stream here on YouTube. Thanks guys on YouTube for watching. Really appreciate you. Take care.